everyone and welcome to today's video. We have a bit of a surprise video because I don't think I was really expecting this, or I think anyone was really expecting this, but there's a new NSX coming. And I wouldn't say all new, it's more of like a facelifted NSX, but Instagram user NSX John graciously allowed us to share these images on his feed that he took of a 2022 NSX or 2023 NSX with a completely different front and rear end. So let's dive in, talk about what we're seeing here and what we can expect with this upcoming new NSX. Okay, everyone, so this was kind of a big shock on me, so I've kind of been trying to get all this information out as quickly as possible. So let's look at what we're looking at. Let's dive into what we're looking at first. So up front, this image, what are we looking at right here? So we can see a orange NSX, and it's completely front end. The cover is covered in camouflage. We can see the very familiar dual eye LED headlights that we see on the current NSX. It looks like those are pretty much the same shape, but the entire shape of the rest of the car is very different. Currently on the NSX, we have one kind of giant intake on each side. Now it's kind of split in half, as you can kind of see right there. On each side, it's kind of cut in half. So I'm guessing there's going to be additional ducting for different, maybe brake cooling or other vents up front, because we know there are two electric motors up front as well, so there's probably more cooling going on for that. It's kind of like a similar design we kind of see on the new upgraded Audi R8 and the current Huracan Evo, kind of like where the vents are kind of split in half to kind of direct air in different directions. We're also probably going to see a redesigned front beak fascia area, because currently the whole Acura beak thing's kind of gone. And if you want to talk about Honda too, because this is also Honda NSX around the world, we're probably going to see a redesign going on with the fascia as well. And you can kind of see in the centerpiece that whole like kind of V shape that was going on the traditional NSX, because we have right now, is different. So it's smaller, and there's also, again, additional ducting you can see right there kind of going on that center lower piece. So there's a lot of aerodynamic changes going on up front. Now this is just up front. Coming around to the rear, there is way more stuff going on here than we currently have on the NSX. So the lower bumper area is completely different, way more aggressive diffuser. As you can see, it's like different layers going on there. So like we saw on the front, that more ducting and variance of the vents going on there. So that means increased cooling likely. But the entire shape's actually completely different. So on the current NSX, we have the like the marker lights on the side of the corners. Now they're horizontally mounted on the centerpiece. There's also like a large vent in the centerpiece of the current NSX. That's kind of gone now to kind of take place of that giant diffuser. The exhaust is a little bit more visible in the center of the bottom, so there's 4 exhaust tips down there. And again, like the whole general shape is overall very different than the current NSX. The taillights look identical to right now, but otherwise that's pretty much it, I think, going on back there. So again, more increase of aerodynamics, more cooling, all that type of stuff. We can kind of see a different angle of it from like a top-down view looking down. We can kind of see the side profile as well from here, which is the same, as well as the engine bay is kind of the same. It's just that the front and rear bumper areas are very, very different. Now, another big thing we can actually point out from these images is the interior. Now, you probably can't see the interior from these images, but I'm going to zoom in. Look very carefully here. If you zoom in, right here, right above the wing, you can kind of look through the back window and see a screen popping out. This is huge because the current NSX interior is one of the most, I think, hated or kind of like talked about pieces from like media journalists and some owners. A lot of owners just really love their cars, so they don't really care too much about it. But it has been a point of contention because, you know, a lot of cars at this price point have decent interiors, even though if the technology is not good, like Aston Martin, their interior quality is very nice. And the NSX has been a little bit plasticky in a bit. Some pieces aren't fitting altogether, some rattles, some people have reported. And the screen was kind of like the main thing. It was like, this is a old infotainment system. But now, for all that out of the way, I think they're doing a whole new interior design. So likely with this screen that we're looking at right here is Acura's, I think it's the True Touch, the touch point, whatever infotainment system that they have, which means the screen's mounted up top, nice and high, and you control it. It's not a touch screen, you control it with their True Touch interface. So it's kind of like a True Touch. So if you touch on the small trackpad to the left, it'll touch the top of the screen, all like that. If you've experienced current Acuras, you kind of know how that works. If not, maybe go to your local dealer and try it out. It's a little bit weird to get used to at first, but it kind of makes sense while you're driving, so you don't have to like reach over and touch the screen. With that being there's a new screen, we're likely going to see a reoriented all interior, because the current screen's mounted into the interior, like into the dashboard. So this is kind of like a whole reconfiguration. We're probably going to see an interior with a similar shape to like the new TLX, but of course more sporty and more unique to the NSX, because it doesn't really share any components with any of the other Acuras too much. But this is a huge upgrade. I think this is going to be really appreciated by everyone. But now we need to talk about the powertrain, because I think that's another point that people were kind of like, yeah. So currently the NSX costs around 157,000 to 159,000 US dollars before options. And there are a lot of options like brakes and carbon packages and colors that quickly can shoot up that price tag. And people were like, oh, it's a very fast car, it's a very advanced car, a very, very advanced car that just manufacturers right now are starting to catch up to the advancements of like the powertrain, the NSX. But it didn't make the most power in the class. It made around 573 horsepower right now, with compared to a 9-speed dual clutch gearbox. Of course, that combined their TwinTurbo V6 and 3 motors of a hybrid powertrain, an electric hybrid powertrain. 0 to 60 was around 2.9 seconds, all that nice stuff, whatever. But people wanted more power, it's expensive, there's other cars in the class that can do more, yada, yada, yada. I think Acura has kind of shut everyone up about that piece. Even though the NSX is a great car now, it's going to be an even better car with this upgrade, at least what the rumors are saying so far. So what are these rumors saying exactly? So there's reports of more power. Now, Acura isn't going to really change too much. So we're basically going to see the similar powertrain with the 3 motors and the twin-turbo V6. But tuning and tweaking of a lot of different things will be going on. So tuning and tweaking of the engine, tuning and tweaking of the electrical motors themselves, and next generation kind of version of that super handling all-wheel drive system we'll see. And numbers coming out of rumor mills in Japan are saying 640 up to 680 horsepower. I'm leaning more towards the 640 range. 680 is way too much, I think. So I'm going to say personally 600 to 640 horsepower, which is a decent upgrade from the current 573 horsepower. With that, there's also going to be, again, improved motors up front and rear. So that's going to help maybe increase speed times, 0 to 60 times if people care about that. But it's also going to improve the torque vectoring and the handling of the super handling all-wheel drive system, which is kind of the main purpose of it. They're going to give you that really incredible pull-in and turns, kind of shoot you out of a corner. That's kind of like the big benefactor of the system. And of course, you can drive in EV mode if you want to as well. There's also a huge talking about of reducing weight. So that's going to be a big point, since the NSX is technically a full-on hybrid powertrain with 3 electric motors and a gas engine. Reducing weight is going to be very beneficial, and that is said to be done through additional carbon fiber that we don't currently have. So currently the carbon fiber bits are kind of limited to a very small aero trim, interior trim, and whatnot. But this is kind of going to step it up even more, so we might see more panels in carbon fiber, maybe like the whole diffuser or whole front bumper area, whatnot. That would help and reduce weight. And of course, with the new interior, we're probably going to see new interior carbon fiber trim and stuff. So that's going to be a huge thing to keep an eye out. And that's pretty much all we kind of have right now. So we're going to have to wait and see when this comes out. It looks pretty much done from these images. I think they're just kind of doing some final testing, maybe of the powertrain stuff. So we'll have to wait and see if that comes out this year as a 2022 model or next year as a 2023 model. I'm hinting more towards the 2022 because it kind of looks pretty much complete. So that'd be a huge, huge kind of surprise to everyone. Not sure what's happening, if there's an NSX Type R or something, or a Type S coming later on. Not really sure about that. They might just keep it as is, but those rumors have been going on since the new NSX came out a long time ago. So thank you guys for watching this video. And again, a huge thanks to NSX John over on Instagram. He owns an NSX, of course, so go check out his awesome yellow NSX. And stay tuned here and on Instagram for more news, reviews, spy shots, and more. Thank you again.